Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden. Beautiful weather, clear blue skies, a little bit of a wind still picking up, but I don't mind as long as the sun is out. It is beautiful. And I quickly want to show you this. Yes, the driveway, but it's empty driveway. I stored the entire wood on an afternoon. I just put a podcast in, was listening to that kind of mindless, and all the wood is finally stored in here. I'm so happy about this situation. To be fair, I really like the visual of it because we have this white trellis here, and then on this side there is a white rambling rose which ages to really wonderful pinkish tone, and here is a wine. So at one point we'll frame everything with beautiful wine foliage and then eventually some grapes. That would be really lovely as well, obviously. But what I want to do today is not store any more wood because there is no more wood to be stored. I want to continue planting, obviously, and you see I'm taking you with me to the back of the garden, to the slope, because most of the planting is bound to happen there. And today I want to plant a perennial and one of those annuals that I was growing from seed together with you. So excited to show it to you. You've already prepared everything, which rarely happens. I'm so proud of myself. Like, all my tools are there, I've got soil, I already put the plants in position. So all I need to do now is flip the phone and give you a quick tour on those areas where I want to plant today. Hope you're excited to see what today's video will be about. I honestly feel that the slope starts to green up and fill up with more foliage by the day. It is so wonderful to see, just to see that all of this mulch disappears, but also that I see my path winding through here. So I come with my finger now, so you can really see that, where's my finger? There. That the path kind of like guides you through here, a little bit meandering through the slope. And this is exactly what I want to happen. I don't want to have just a straight path going from A to B on here. I just want this area to be a little bit of an experience and find your way through here and really have these opportunities to take a stop and a rest, just to enjoy whatever's going to happen here. And you can tell that there is a first drift of tiny white containers already standing here. So these are my cosmos that I was sewing together with you. This is Apricot lemonade. I believe I have the label somewhere. Yes, here I do. So I can show you, this is how they're bound to look. Cosmos Apricot lemonade, and the color of the bloom is very special. It's kind of like peachy with a little bit pinkish towards the center, and then the eye obviously is in a warm, kind of like warm yellow tone. I'm so thrilled. Let's see. 15 seeds were in a pack, and I think after hardening off I just lost 2 plants, which is really, really good, and I can show you how they look after hardening off. So they have really strong, robust, sturdy little stems, and after pinching them they started branching out sidewards. So I'm really expecting beautiful cosmos here, and the location is just perfect for them. So I have a really nice drift of cosmos, and then you see 3 black containers with something very limp looking in there. This is redhead pennisetum, and it was out here in the harshest wind of the past 2 days. So this is why it is looking a little bit on the sad side, but I know once it is in the ground, it is definitely going to come back and bounce back and be so happy. And I sew more containers of these because I want to create a little drift of them. Just here, there is a step how you go down. So I have a lovely drift of the redhead pennisetum because I think they're just so lush and they frame the pathway really beautifully. So they're gonna go in here first, and then probably in a month from now, more are gonna follow just along the line here. There are my tools. I don't need a lot for today's video. I've just got 2 buckets, one with fresh soil. I've got my preferred gardening shovel that I always use for all my projects because I can just scoop up a lot of soil in here. My starting fertilizer, the organic bone chips, is pretty much all I need for today. Most of the planting is going to happen down here on the last layer of the slope. So if I just take you down here, you already see more pots standing. This is Salvia. This is a very intriguing variety. I'm going to give you all the information about it in a second. I've never grown it. I just saw it online. I was like, I need to have it. So I have an elder here, and then I have 2 salvias here, 3 on the other side, and more cosmos there. And I think the beauty is that this salvia is going to flower sky blue, one of those rare colors that you sometimes find on delphiniums. And I'm really intrigued to see the combination of the sky blue with the peachy tone, with this peach lemonade tone of the cosmos. And as we continue walking to the back, there is more of the same plant combination. There are 5 salvias just as a backdrop, and then I have a wonderful drift of more cosmos standing here. Super excited about them, really happy that they finally get into the ground. But first, I just want to give you some quick key details about those plants. I think since I have a label, it's nice to quickly show you the label. So in case you can take a screenshot, if you want to do research about the variety, Salvia azurea variegata, I think, grandiflora. P1, no idea what that stands for, but yeah, really excited to give you all the information about this salvia now. And as always, I'm going to give you the link to the online shop down below here. So if you want to buy it for your own, just click on the link down below the video. So I never grew this variety ever before, and I've never even seen it anywhere in a garden. So I'm fully going out on a limb here, and I'm only based it on my online research because the online shop had quite good photos, and I was like, okay, I think this might work, and I think this is going to be very beautiful in this particular area of the garden, just testing it out how I'm going to love it. You can see already quite well, I think, the growing habit of the plant. So typical salvia, I think it has these very long spikes already with a very slim foliage, very nice fresh green color, a little bit fluffy on the surface. I think this is what salvia always has. Not a lot though, but just a little bit. You can just touching it, you can feel it feels a little hairy almost. It does not change color in autumn, so don't expect any kind of like autumnal explosion out of the foliage on this variety, but you can expect beautiful blooms in autumn, because other than the other salvias that I have up in the upper garden, like Salvia caradonna, flowers twice a year if you prune it after the first flowering in June, this is a autumn flowering salvia. So it is only going to come to bloom in September, October time. And as the name already tells you, kind of like an azure blue, sky blue, like a nice mid blue. It's not going to be like icy blue, not like pale icy blue like some delphinium's flower, but still I think this is going to be a very dreamy and whimsical color, especially in combination also with the dahlias that are here, because the flowers, they are on these very elegant long skinny flower stems, and then on top of it you have the individual flower spikes, kind of like Bistorta, I would say. And just thinking, I have a dahlia here, I have dahlias there, and dahlias have these like big blooms, and then the combination of these big blooms of the dahlias in peach tones with these very dreamy kind of like waving in the wind salvias, I think this is going to be just magical, at least in my idea, because they grow quite tall. They grow 1 meter to 1 meter 50 in height, which I think is also fantastic, because when I plant them here, they will grow taller to what actually all of these terraces and the support system is. So I break the pattern a little bit of all of these terraces. So my idea at one point, all the plants are kind of like melting together in a way. I also want to put things that kind of just like start tumbling down, spill over the edges. Maybe something that would climb at one point if I have a proper kind of like masking system going on here. But so far, I'm kind of like dealing with whatever the situation is. In terms of location, it prefers full sun, which it kind of gets here throughout the biggest part of the day. We're now at lunchtime, so the tree in my back provides a little bit of shade, but not too much, because the tree has a lot of missels, so there is not a thick canopy anymore at all. And every single year, more branches come down. So whatever I plant here, I need to make sure that those plants are really going to be sun lovers. In terms of soil, it's not really fuzzy. It just prefers a normal neutral garden soil, exactly what I have. I'm a little bit more on the sandy side, but the more we go down to the slope, the better the moisture level stays. I was just like checking underneath the mulch, and the soil is still lovely damp. It's really just different to the upper garden. So I think that they'd be very happy here, because other than, for example, Salvia caradonna, it does not appreciate to dry out completely. I think it has to do with the size probably. And just like that, you don't strip it back in June after its first flush of flowers. So I think I just put it down to that, but I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to put them in the ground, obviously show you all the details. When I plant them, as always, I'm just going to enrich the soil a little bit with some organic bone chips, and then I plant at that level as they are in the containers. What I'm going to do now, before I plant these, I'm going to take you with me up there and just give you some information about the cosmos and show you how I plant annuals. I just checked the angle from where I'm filming now, and I think this is just such a beautiful sight into this little area, and you can already see how this entire area starts coming together, because I have all these beautiful aquilegia here, and I think there'd be a blend of kind of like white and then whitish blue in that kind of world, because I remember from which plant I took this seed, and I can tell some of them, they are really looking just pure white already, while others, they have already like little bluish tips going on, and then in combination with a persicaria here, all of this, I think they'd be so nice, and especially the cosmos when they really start kicking in with more growth, how they will fill up this area. I think that'd be just magical, so I can't wait. But planting annuals in general is not such a big difference to planting perennials, let's face it. So what I will do is, obviously, I will come in, remove the mulch a little bit. And now it's a little hard to maneuver, I think, because I don't have too much space here, but I'm still going to make it work, because I quickly want to show you with one plant at least. I still have a root from one of my white, what was it actually? I think it was a snapdragon that was growing here last year. It was a beautiful variety though. So, oh, what is here? Nothing. Okay, so what I do is I just come in with a little bit of fresh garden soil then, just to give the plant a really good, nice start into its life. Just a sprinkle of organic bone chips, because on annuals, everything works a little different to perennials. Perennials, they really want to grow a big, good root system to make sure that the plant survives over winter. Annuals work different. They, most of the time, have shallow roots because there's no need for them to try to root in deeply and use a lot of the energy to produce all of those roots. So this is why you always need to have a little bit of a better eye on your watering the annuals, because as the year progresses, I know when I plant the salvia now, kind of earlier in the year, it has a lot of time to root in well, and then if there is a period of drought, the perennials might eventually survive that period better, while annuals generally they don't really do that. So this is why you always should have a little bit better eye on the watering regime. When I tip it over, I can see a lot of fibrous tiny roots looking good. And I wanted to show you this because the problem with this one is the cosmos that I showed you had a very good sturdy stem, so this is good. But this one here still is a little bit on the limb side here, so I'm like, I'm not sure if the wind is just not going to knock it over, and that was it. So what I will do is I will just bury the stem a little bit deeper just to anchor the plant. It's not going to produce any side roots coming from the stem now, but I think it will be just a better idea, and this is how I've done it in the past. Like last year, I grew a pink cosmos up there. Double click was the variety. I think I didn't have too many plants, maybe just 10 in total. Still, they were beautiful. So in general, cosmos, they can grow to quite a good size. This variety here can grow in height up to 50, maybe 70 centimeters. And the spacing that's at 30 centimeters in between each plant, I'm going to do a little less because I really want to have big impact, and I really want to fill up the entire area with all the beauty here. And what you always need to do with annuals, I'm going to give you all the updates later on in the year anyways, but remember dad heading, because cosmos, they can start flowering in June, and if you always make your rounds and dad hand all of the spent flowers, they can flower for ages. And I remember my pink ones that I was growing up there last year, I think they were flowering almost until end of October into November, because we still had really lovely mild temperature. So it's definitely worth spending a little bit of time and do your dad heading. So what I will do now, I will just like plant my way through here. I'm so excited about this, you have no idea. And then going to give you a quick update on how everything looks. Everything is planted, and there's something so meditative about working my way through this slope here. The sun was out, it was just like nice and cozy. I was digging without gloves on, so my hands are looking a little ooh today, and the fingernails are even worse. Ooh, look at that. I really need to find a brush. That is so embarrassing. But what I want to do obviously is just give you a close look at everything, because I could envision how things are going to look as the year progresses. I think this is going to be so fabulous, this entire area here. Fingers crossed slugs and snails are not going to discover all of this too soon, but so far the slugs have not been munching on those cosmos. I'm very happy about this situation. I also want to show you the tulips that I'm growing here, because I'm so happy with that variety, especially the way that it ages so gracefully. So definitely want to recommend that to you as well. As always, whenever I put the pots on the ground, I feel like, oh yeah, this is going to be quite a nice impact. But once it's mulched in, things just seem to disappear a little bit. But what I think would be so beautiful, come with my finger now, there are some cosmos here, the same ones are going to grow back there and then there as well in the backdrop. So there will be kind of like a nice repetition of those. And then I have the lovely drift of the salvia here in the front, just next to my little stairs that guide upwards. And then in the back, more of the salvia. So I think this is going to be really beautiful. And you can already spot the tulips. But before I show you the tulips, just a quick advice on hyacinth, because they are definitely gone over now. They're no good anymore. And what you want to do when your hyacinths look like this, you want to come in with your secateurs. I've already prepared everything, and just snip it off right to the base. Leave the foliage so that the foliage can still get all the energy and bring it back into the bulb, but you do not want that the plant spends any energy on producing seeds. So really do yourself a favor, snip it off. Same applies to tulips. And the foliage needs to stay. At one point it's going to turn yellow, and this is when you can come in and remove the foliage as well if it bothers you. But so far you really need to leave it, because you want that all the energy and all the goodness goes back into the bulb. But tulips, oh my, this is Salmon van Eyck, and I was so surprised, pleasantly surprised with this variety. Very elegant tulip, long stems, beautiful colors, and as they age, they really change their color more and more into a salmon color, which I think is absolutely glorious and fantastic. Big blooms, very elegant. So if you like tulips like this, I think you could definitely add this variety to your shopping cart for next year. That's it for today's video, and look at my back, the Christmas tree is still there, looking all nice, brown and crunchy. So I predict this is going to be there still in 5 months from now. Every single time I see it, I'm kind of like, oh, just grab a pair of loppers and just quickly do it. But then I see other things that are nicer, so then I keep forgetting about it. So get used to that vista probably. But what I want to tell you as well is the other day I was in the garden centre, and then they had these absolute beautiful cannas, dark foliage, red blooms, everything what I want basically here. And I was so close to buy them, but then I thought, you know what, no, they're straight from the greenhouse, and if I put them here in the reality of the harsh wind on a slope, they will hate their life, and the wind is just going to hit them hard and destroy all the foliage. So I was just checking how the cannas are looking that we planted here, and I can't really see anything. I just put it down on the cooler temperatures. I hope that is a fact. I really hope that they're going to thrive, because if they're not going to come up, I'll be so sad about it. But well, that's it. I might need to think of a plan B eventually. So this is what I'm going to do. But what I'm going to do now is I will head inside, have a little lunch, and then have some cake. I have this very old-fashioned 80s style kind of strawberry cake with a thick layer of jelly on top of it. A lot of people think it's disgusting. I love it though. I'm going to wash my hands obviously first though. But thank you so much for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to welcome you in my garden very soon again. Take care, guys. Bye.